biological, cultural, and cognitive factors of language.
So start with some basic units of language. Phonemes are basic sound units. There are 45 in the English language. Here are some examples. There are 85 in other languages. Morphonemes are the smallest meaningful units of speech. Example can be simple words, prefixes, or suffixes. Syntax are rules for arranging words into. There are some ways to describe structure of sentences. There is simple or surface structure, which is the particular words and phrases. Deep structure, which is underlying meaning.
Right. So there are a couple different hypotheses about how people acquire language. One of them was developed by Noam Chomsky, which he thought that there was something called the language acquisition device in people's brains. It was just a neural connection that made them have language be wired into all humans. And another one was from B.F. Skinner, who thought that language was acquired through operant conditioning. So he thought that people were rewarded for making sounds, and then it developed into language. And then another recent hypothesis is from Steven Pinker, who believes that the evolutionary forces have shaped language into providing humans with language instinct. So the process that people acquire, everyone goes through acquiring language in the same steps. The first step occurs around 2 months when babies start to make cooing noises. And then that progresses at the age of 3 to 4 months when it becomes babbling. And then at 4 to 6 months, babies acquire intonation, and then which then progresses to hollow phrases, which are just one-word phrases such as more or up or anything like that. And then which then becomes 2 to 3 word sentences, and then progresses to complete thought, like how we speak now. And then, okay, so if someone is going to acquire a second language, it affects how their brain works. So we know that there are 2 parts of the brain that deal with language. The first is Broca's area, which deals with talking, and Wernicke's area, which is dealing with understanding and comprehending what others say. So if someone acquires a second language during adolescence, then they have 2 Broca's areas in their brain. But if they establish a second language in their childhood, they only have 1 area, which it's why it's easier to learn a language if you're a child than if you're an adolescent trying to take on a second language. And then another idea that was thought of by Benjamin Whorf was linguistic determinism, which thought that people can only have ideas that their language covers. And then but people from different cultures think about the same things even if they don't have the words for it, which shows that even though linguistic determinism can apply, it doesn't apply to the extent that many linguistic determinists, such as Benjamin Whorf, thought it did. And then, in addition, there's 3 other terms that were highlighted in our book. One is concept, which is a mental category for classifying any new words or anything that is new to our language. And then another is an image, which is a nonverbal representation of something that we see or that we hear of. And then another one is prototypes, which are mental models to classify new objects. So that's basically it about language. And if that doesn't make sense, read your book. All right, we're done.